I would like for you to mention a few things about the Ohio Medical Center that you're involved with. I know you're involved there helping the vets and providing bicycles. Can you tell me a few more things about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So, one of my crew members who I grew up, we were friends in school and stuff like that, who was also an Army veteran. Uh, I told him, I wanted to start something. I wanted to give back to the veteran community. But instead of opening like my own private foundation or anything like that, I wanted to do something in house at the VA because unfortunately, like any organizations, I've seen too much in-house fighting between like Wounded Warriors and Team RWB and it's nothing. They're great organizations. I'm not bad mouthing them, but if we did it through the VA, Veterans Hospital, that is something where all these little organizations can come. It's common ground. They can all work towards it. Um, so last April, me and a guy named Matt Cox, the guy I was mentioning, who I'm good friends with, we basically we had like 12 bicycles and just an open space that the VA gave us, and we started a bicycle shop. And it's a bike like a bike share program.
Hmm.
Patients. The original thought is patients could come just check out a bike. That quickly gained traction, and then I used my social media presence and my connections, and people were donating bicycles. And some of them be like, "Hey, it's nothing special. I got this old ratty bike in the garage. If you
Hmm.
go through it, and of course, I'm going to take anything and everything I can get." And now we're up to like 70 bicycles.
Oh,
Uh, we also didn't have any funds. I mean, basically, first couple months, I was paying for stuff out of pocket to basically keep it afloat. And it's just the basic stuff: inner tubes, tires, have to buy a box of spokes to replace on a wheel. And slowly we are getting monetary donations. Then I developed a ride. We have 4 highways here in Chillicothe that are named after soldiers and Marines that have been killed in action overseas. One of them's my good friend Aaron Reed, who I from time to time go out and ride on these highways, and I take pictures next to their signs, and people would always comment on the pictures. Oh, I'd love for you to take me out there one day. And so I was riding one day, and I'm like, man, if we set up some kind of ride, and we ended up calling it the Tour of Ross County Heroes. There's one route that's a 50K and one route that's 100K. And we actually didn't charge any entry fee. This is just a free ride. We wanted people to come out. We invited the families of the fallen to go stand by the memorial signs. So that way, as the cyclists ride by, they could see that their loved one is not forgotten. Like I said, we did ask for a donation, but we just wanted people to be involved, wanted people to come out, and we had like 110 cyclists, somewhere around there, show up. We raised over $3,500
oh.
plus the awareness that was risen for the ride.
Hmm.
Um, it, you know, Next year it's going to even be bigger. We already set a date. A bunch of other organizations are now involved. We have huge support. Uh, and then Matt got sent to your neck of the woods there in DC, and he presented it to Washington D.C. the program because we were nominated for this award, and we actually won a national award,
Oh,
and we gained more funding, and now we have enough in the bank because through the VA, we have our own account. Uh, our program will be able to stay running for a couple years if
Nice.
we didn't get any more donations. And this year, our biggest thing, because we had a lot of success stories, like the veterans were using it. There's an actual apartment complex there at the Chillicothe VA for basically veterans that low income. And one patient, he worked in Chillicothe in town about 7 miles away. Well, he didn't have enough money for a car. He had no means of transportation. Slowly, we showed him, hey, you can commute by bike. So he checked out one of the bicycles, and that's his only source of transportation. He uses to go to the grocery. So these guys are learning that, hey, a bicycle can be a means of transportation. We had one patient, because also along with the program, every Wednesday I would lead like a group ride. Now, this is not like mine and your kind of group ride.
Yeah.
It's a very basic beginner level. I mean, we'd average like 9-10 miles an hour, but this is to teach these guys, and I by no means am I saying that degrading. This is just to teach these guys how to ride a bike. Some of them hadn't been on a bike in 20 years.
Wow.
So we got more guys involved in that, and we had one patient lose almost 60 pounds over the summer just riding a bike. We set up a little Strava thing, and they downloaded the apps to the phone, and we had to have contests every week of who could get the most mileage. I took myself out of the contest, obviously, but like those guys, we had patients hitting over 100 miles a week that had previously not ever been on a bicycle in years. Because the Chillicothe VA is also like a big campus. It used to be a military base, and so they had a 3-mile track around the campus grounds that they can ride, and yeah, it's been great to see it grow. And now the Chillicothe VA is setting up something called adaptive sports, and it's basically through a mental health program trying to get these guys outside and more active. Like you had mentioned earlier, seems like cycling definitely helps. You breathe fresh air. There's endorphins release when you get out and do physical stuff. And we're also really targeting this year, working with the physical rehab, getting bicycles for patients with special needs, missing limbs or loss of their legs. We have a couple tandems, and we're trying to find patients that maybe lost their vision. I would more than gladly be a pilot for one of those guys. We also have several wheelchair accessible hand crank bicycles, and we're going to try to work with specialty needs patients this year. We also, because this is the only program like that in the nation, we also have a lot of VAs across the country coming to us this year, and they want to check out our setup and planting seeds to try to get it to grow.
No, this is great. I mean, that was gonna be my next question. Are other VAs inquiring about your program, and is it gonna expand? I know I first found out about it when I was listening to you on the Bespoke podcast, I believe, and you mentioned you won't be going to DC to talk to the Secretary of Veterans Affairs and the Congress, and that was, I think, back in October. I was wondering if any good news came out of it, funding and so forth.
Yeah, that's. I ended up not going, but Matt Cox, my counterpart, I just couldn't get away. But Matt went, and he gave a knockout presentation, and that's where all this extra funding came from. To like I was saying, we've been able to purchase specialty needs bicycles, which any custom made bicycle
Yeah.
is ridiculous. And it's not they're trying to price gouge. It's just what it is. So we have 3 to 4. I think we have 4 hand crank bicycles. We have several recumbent bicycles for patients with stability problems now. We have 3 tandems. I mean, we've been able to purchase bikes. We have funding to continue. Yeah, so what came out of that was this nice little national award we won, and it definitely grabbed the attention of other VAs. San Antonio, I know, is one of them that's coming. We have Minnesota, some VA from Minnesota coming this year. I know Arkansas. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of national attention. You know, if it spreads to 1 or 2 this year, hopefully it'll spread to 4 or 5 next year. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, it's beautiful. So how can people help, Joe, if they want to help?
definitely spread the word. Or you know, we have yeah, that's probably the biggest thing we need now is just spread the word. And you know, if you're in Ohio and you happen to be around September 14th for the Tour of Heroes ride, please come and join us. We also, you know, there's a donation link if you'd want to give money to the program, or you know, again, for your listeners outside of Ohio, it's not feasible. But if you're in Ohio and you have like an old bike laying around,
Donate it.
trust me, if you're gonna throw it out or anything, yeah, I mean, I'm a pretty good bike mechanic. I can fix it up, or even if I salvage the parts, you know, I mean, a wheel isn't expensive, or
Yeah.
you know, but yeah, just raising awareness and letting people know this program's there is huge.
Sure, sure. Thank you. I mean, thank you for really doing what you're doing. I had some friends that were dealing with PTSD, and cycling has helped them. It helped a lot of people. And you also have help from your sponsors. I'm sure they're helping you a little bit with fixing the bikes, maybe, and so forth. Maybe it's a good time to mention them because
Oh yeah, absolutely, and I thank you for that because Marquee has been great. They sent us handlebar tape, and you know, this is the stuff that the small cost that definitely adds up big and saves us
Yep.
money. Handlebar grips, seats, water bottle cages. I would definitely want to thank Rudy Project. They sent us hats and bags and all kinds of goodies to raffle off at our event, and that was it went over real well. And then of course Kenda tires, they have always been great to me. They basically supplied our whole shop with tubes and tires, and yeah, I mean, it's been huge, and I thank them for that too.
Sweet. This is awesome. I won't take much more from your time. Um, what else I was gonna say? I mean, you're inspiration. I mentioned this earlier. I'm really happy for what you're doing for the community. You know, I thank you for serving this country. Where we gonna see you next, Joe? This year, what's next for Joe?
There's the Canal Fulton race here in Ohio. I don't know if you're gonna. I know you have your own transcontinental race coming up, but May 2nd, it's a Ram qualifier here in Ohio. Then I have Dirty Kansas at the end of May, and me and my wife are going to do that on a tandem. I'll be back at Mid Atlantic this year. I'm going to do that as a 2-man relay, and then I'll be out at the World Championship in Brago Springs out October 30th. So
Exciting stuff. Exciting stuff. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and you know, thank you for thanking me for my service, but it's that was probably one of the greatest moments of my life, and it's never needed, man. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
No, definitely. Yeah, I think I'm gonna miss the Ohio race this year. TCR is gonna take most of my vacation time, obviously, being having a full-time job. You know, financially too. but I do plan on coming to the National 24 in Michigan. Hopefully, I
Okay.
can go from TCR and come to the Mid-Atlantic, and then I'll probably do the 12 hours in Maryland on top of some local small races. So I'll stay busy and active, you know. But I need to
All
crank up
right.
some big mileage because you know, TCR it's a long race. It's a long
Oh
race.
yeah, I'm really excited to watch you do it, man. That's I've eyeballed that, so I'm really excited for you. So
Great. Well, it's getting late, Joe. Thank you. I really appreciate you, and thanks for everything, man. Keep it up.
oh no, thank you for having me on, and I'm hopefully one day we can hook up and ride together. That'd be fun.